see the video, but they didn't need to see the gunman coming in and hear the gunshots. They don't need to relive that. They've been through enough. And that was the most chicken way to put this video out today.
The mayor said chicken. It was chicken
yeah.
To release that video the way you did it.
That's Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin using anger at the media to cover up from him and his police's screw-ups during the Uvalde school shooting. Yesterday, the Austin Statesman American released video of police running away from the gunman during May's school shooting. 21 people died, including 19 kids. Police waited 77 minutes to finally confront the gunman. At one point, early on, an officer stood around using hand sanitizer, all while kids died inside. Hours after the shooting, officials hailed Police Chief Pete Arredondo and his men as heroes. Only when the media pressed on that timeline and parents' claims of police cowardice did the truth come out. Jeremy Barr is here, reporter at the Washington Post, who covers the media. It is beyond amazing to me that you've got people so angry at the media for simply showing what happened.
I think it's one of those things. People have very strong feelings about the media and the conduct of the media. And I think some people have pointed out we should focus rightly on what the video actually shows. But I think it's just, you know, is that people are very heated about the way things should be done. But ultimately, I think all journalists are pro-transparency. And that's, of course, why the newspaper said they publish it, because they have a journalistic responsibility to, you know, put information out there to the public. But it's a very sensitive case, obviously, with trying to be sensitive to the families and their wishes. And I think because some of the parents said they were unhappy with it, it gave people who were maybe already going to be critical of them more ammunition. But I think it's...
And look, these were people who tried to cover it up to begin with. The mayor stonewalled and wouldn't speak to the media, wouldn't release anything. And in fairness to the newspaper, the Austin Statesman American, they asked for the video. They offered for it to be released to the parents first. They were stonewalled. Here's now one of their reporters talking about their decision to go ahead and release it. Take a listen.
Authorities consistently, from day one, have failed the people of Uvalde. During the actual shooting event, the families were failed by law enforcement who were there. And the days after, law enforcement and other officials released conflicting information that then had to be clarified or retracted. Why should they have to wait one more day for the government to release this information to them?
You can't say you're protecting the parents from this video and not show it to them, can you?
It seems like they were trying to have it both ways, certainly. And there was no evidence that the full video would have come out without the role of the press in it. So I think that there's this issue of good faith. And I feel like the journalists in Uvalde feel like the government has not been, you know, responding to their requests and giving them information that they need. So I think in this particular case, when a journalism outfit sort of gets this video, they feel like there's a responsibility. And perhaps if they felt confident that the government would release the video in a timely manner, they wouldn't have done it. And it sounds like they made a very sort of cautious, careful decision. I mean, ultimately, a lot of people are not happy about it, but it doesn't sound like this was a rush to publish. I think that's one thing they wanted to make clear, the editor and this reporter, that it wasn't something they were doing rashly. They thought about it. They talked to some of the family members. They made edits to it. They edited out the sound of the children, a reasonable edit. But of course, people are still going to feel strongly one way or the other. You can't blame the parents for being upset. But someone like Whoopi Goldberg has less personal involvement in this particular case.
You mentioned her name. Take a listen.
I think it's appalling, and you should be ashamed of yourselves for doing that, for being thoughtless about the parents who have to relive this every day because it's on television. Every time you turn around, you got to see it, you know? And I don't know if you guys over at that newspaper have kids, but shame on you. Shame on, I know it doesn't mean anything coming from me, but shame on you.
I'm almost sort of shocked by this, although it's Whoopi Goldberg, so maybe you shouldn't be. But in the sense that when I was down in Uvalde, there were parents begging us to get the answers, to get the truth out. This wasn't putting out video for the sake of sort of the salacious tabloid nature of it. This was putting out video to get the truth because the officials in town had been lying to parents in this video right here. They lied to the media and the like. And what I'm curious about is why, in a situation where the media really is the only thing that provided the truth, you're not seeing more applause and praise for it.
I think you make excellent points. I certainly, don't speak for the Austin American-Statesman, but they were certainly careful and cautious in the way they decided this. I've seen arguments, people saying that they were doing it for ratings and revenue. I just don't, that's a pretty cynical way of reading why journalism and journalism outfits exist. I do think there have been people who were praising them for doing it. And the newspaper has said that some people have, family members or people in the community have thanked them for doing it. So I think we're all advocates for transparency, and as I don't speak for them, but it does sound like they had a lot of conversations about whether this was the right thing to do.
Given how divided America is right now, and you heard Don McLaughlin, who'd been on this show before, he now refuses our request, but he was so angry at the media to turn this into the scapegoat, their chicken, whatever. At some level, what situation demands the media asking aggressive questions more than police failures during a school shooting?
I think that the media covers statements by officials. So you're seeing a lot of, the officials are unhappy, so they're covering that. But I think certainly in their heart of hearts, journalists feel like that transparency and accountability are the most important things that we do. That's the goal, is to inform people. And, as I said, we've seen a lot of stonewalling of the press, and requests have not been answered. And it does seem like this is a case with sort of journalistic intervention, I guess you can say. But, I think we know a lot more about the response now that we can see it with our eyes. But of course we have to be sensitive to the families and their wishes. And I think that's something that they were weighing. But of course, it's a controversial decision. It's a huge decision.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, Jeremy, I'm sorry we got to run, but thank you. We appreciate it as always. It's good to see you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.